Number 4, we're told to complete the lattice diagram, which represents the sample space for the 2 dice thrown. Sample space means all the possible outcomes. So it started for us if we roll 2 ones. And then if we leave 1 die on a 1, the other possibilities would be a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6, where that first die stayed on a 1. If that first die was instead on a 2, the first die would be a 2. And then if we kept that on a 2 and rolled the other one, we could get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. We're going to complete the whole lattice for that. So if that first die, again, we started by saying if he was on a 1, then the possibilities for the second die were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If it were landing on a 2 first, then the other possibilities would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if the first die landed on a 3, or a 4, or a 5, or a 6, we can write down, okay, the possibilities for the second die would be a 1. First was a 3, so the second would be a 2. If the first was a 3, the other option could be a 3. And we'll complete the whole lattice. So if we can see the pattern, the whole first row has the first die landing on 1, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The second row will be the same, starting with a 2, and the second die will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the third one will be if the die starts with a 3, or the first die lands on a 3, and then the second could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just going to complete this real quick. So this is now all the different possibilities, all the possible possibilities when we roll 2 die, or 2 dice. So now it says, explain why there are 36 outcomes. I'm not going to write this one down, I'm just going to talk you through it. Because if I have 2 die, there are 6 possibilities for the first die, and 6 possibilities for the second die. Like I was just saying, if the first die lands on 1, he's got 6 options. If the first die were to land on 2, he would have 6 options. If the first die landed on 3, we would have 6 options. So if we have 6 different possibilities for the first die and 6 different possibilities for the second die, that's going to leave us with a total of 36 outcomes. 6 times. So that answers A for us. Now B. It says, using your lattice, find the probability that the sum of 2 die rolled will be 6. So in that situation, it's hard to look at it and just tell. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my sums. If I roll 2 ones, I get a 2. If I roll a 1 and a 2, I get a 3. If I roll a 1 and a 3, I get a total of 4. I'm just adding these together. It'll take me just a second. I'm using a different color so it's not too much pink and not too much to look at. Okay, so it says, find the probability that the sum of 2 dice rolled will be 6. So if I look across, I've got a 6 here, I've got a 6 here, here. Now I'm just identifying the 6s. Nowhere else are there any more 6s, so I can just count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 different 6s. So the probability, again, if you're talking about probability, you're going to either use a fraction or a decimal. I'll start with a fraction. So I've got 5 stars. So that gives me 5 out of a total of 36. It tells us that there's 36. We could also count or do 6 times 6. If we do 5 out of 36, we're going to end up getting a decimal that's 0.13888888, but we're going to round to the 100th place. So 0.1, the 100th place, I'm going to write the whole thing for a second, and then we'll round. The 100th place is the second spot. So if this is the 10th place, this is the 100th. So I'm going to look at his next door neighbor. If he is 5 or above, then this guy will go up. Since we have 8, then our answer will be 0.14. For C, it says using your lattice, find the probability that the sum of the two die rolled will be a multiple of 5. So I already used stars, so I'm going to go ahead and use a green pencil to show multiples of 5. So I've got 5, 5, because 5 times 1 is 5, 5 is a multiple, 10, and I don't have any 15s, I don't have any 20s, so now I can just count how many I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of a total of 36, which gives us 0.1944, and the 4s keep going, but I'm going to round to the 100th place. Again, this is tens, hundredths, so if I look over and I've got a 4, then this 9 is going to stay the same. So this will become, let me scooch that up, 0.19 is the probability that when you roll 2 die, you'll get a multiple of 5.